Z, what was that?
I, I couldn't hear anyone, and I couldn't work out if nobody was speaking
Nope.
or.
Everyone's
Okay,
just on mute for the most part.
cool, fine. It said that Prod was talking, so I was confused.
I'm always talking shit. Y'all don't think I've talked shit on all of you this season? Just remember, I'm the shit talker.
I would be offended if you weren't.
All right, we are live. Hello, VL. Hello, VIPs. Hello, players. And welcome to your final 11 Tribal Council. Let's start right off with Julia. Now, Julia, congrats on winning the first immunity challenge, the individual immunity challenge of the season. Explain to the viewers what it was and how it feels to win the first challenge, the first individual challenge of the season.
Yeah, so I hope everyone can hear me. We know I'm known for my service. Um, the challenge was basically an 18-question quiz, so one per person about everyone's intro videos that were released right at the beginning of the season. Um, some of them were harder than others, for sure. And it feels fantastic to have individual immunity, especially given this iteration of the twist. I've been speculating that we're going to see some sort of different mechanism every round. This one specifically really scares the shit out of me, so I'm very happy to be safe for the first merge vote.
All right, let's move to Danny. Now, Danny, pre-tribal or pre-merge, you had only attended one tribal council. How does it feel coming into your second tribal, being the first merge tribal of the season? There's no tribe immunity, only individual. Coming into this now with 10 old and new faces to talk to.
I would like to go back to the part where we just won a challenge and then didn't have to play the game for 48 hours. No, the in all seriousness, the merged tribal council is always terrifying, and yeah. But I wouldn't want to not be here. So, I think everybody would take the fear rather than not being here. So,
All right, let's move to Karen. Now, Karen, this is your sixth tribal council of the season. So kind of opposite to Danny, you've been to many of tribals pre-merge. How does it feel to, in comparison to someone who might have only went to one, now you're coming into your sixth. Is there more added pressure? Is there more strength? Is there more, what's the word? Integrity and what's the word I'm thinking of? Is there more endurance now that you've, prepped yourself with five other tribal councils to come here?
Well, I would have turned in my VIP pass to tribal much earlier if that was an option. Don't think it was the biggest thrill to go so many times, but now being here, I don't know what word you're trying to think of, and if I'd say endurance is the right word. Um, it's definitely interesting because it's not just another tribal, it's tribal with a whole new lot of people as well, a whole new array of dynamics to be dissecting now. And it's a lot. It's a lot to process, but that's merge, baby.
All right, let's move to Z. Now, Z,
What do you
we
want?
are we're merged here, and everyone is coming from different OG tribes, different swap tribes. Are there any relationships or loyalties that you are finding yourself more intrigued with, uh more relying on coming into the merge? Or do you feel that pre-existing relationships via tribes is going to affect the way that the vote goes tonight?
Uh, I mean, I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. There are people who I've been on tribes with before that I think potentially there could be a good working relationship, but equally I've enjoyed meeting new people and seeing whether we can reach any sort of agreement on our viewpoints and goals about the game. What tonight will be, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's very up in the air, and pretty much anybody could be going home.
All right, let's move to Lynn's now. You guys have just entered the merge, and after the challenge, we dropped a bombshell on you that this round would be working a little different than the regular Survivor round, where instead of just one vote, you have one vote to eliminate and one vote to save. Tell us your reactions of the twist and just how you feel it's going to affect.
I mean, I think it definitely, not that the first vote at merge is ever smooth sailing, it's always chaos. And this twist, I think, made it even worse because now not only do you have to think, okay, who am I hearing is the target? Who am I hearing like that I want to vote for? Who do I want to save? Am I gonna feel like an idiot if I fuck it up and like, oops, sorry, save the wrong person and waste it? I mean, and then also in general, this is kind of a mild twist, so I'm also terrified for whatever you guys have cooked up for the remaining rounds. So I
Mild.
don't want to give you any ideas. So I will stop.
Oh, y'all heard that, Prod. This is a mild twist. All right, Claire, let's talk about the jury for a moment. Now, you guys have survived the rise of Osiris. You were able to make it to final 11. It was confirmed that jury starts tonight. What do you look for when you talk about, even from the early merge votes to the later merge votes? What do you look for to see a fellow competitor and say, okay, if I'm in the jury, that's who I'd want to vote for?
I think for me, it's a combo platter of like who's playing and who I think played well, even if that ends up like screwing me. I would still like vote for someone who I think played well, but also like somebody who's consistently lying to me, like telling me all the wrong information. Obviously, if they're sitting next to someone I like personally, I'm more inclined to vote for the person I like. So I think it's a mixed bag there.
All right, Kat, let's talk about balance for a moment. So the merge did just happen, but there was 7 rounds prior and the Rise of Osiris comp. Tell us about the balance needed to get to the end of a game to improve. Do you think that moves at final 11 are important, or do you feel that these moves are just, just things that happen and it's more important to focus on the end game than it is final 11?
No, I think you have to focus in the round that you're in, and not be concerned with the end game this early. Because if you focus on that, it could very easily turn right around on you and be like, oh, oops, I decided to play too hard too early. So, I mean, be careful what you wish for, I guess.
All right, we're gonna move to Haley. Haley, kind of the same question. Do you feel it's smarter to work round by round, or do you think it's smarter to work 3 steps forward?
I think it's smarter to work 3 steps forward, but that's just me.
All right, let's talk to you, Eric. Now, Eric, you on paper, you were swapped, the only person away from your OG tribe, but you're now here in the merge. What's your feelings? How has camp been for everyone, especially with the twist?
So I obviously the swap was what it was. I feel like I got lucky. I made friends with the people I made friends with, and happy that we're here. Sorry, this is so really weird at talking. So yeah, obviously I Sheely on paper. I think anyone could agree. Can you all hear me?
I can, yes. A
Okay,
little.
okay. Anyways, it was good until it wasn't, and then it was fine. And I mean now it's like it's fine.
All right, Brandon, can you answer a question?
Yeah, hit me.
All right, Brandon, I'm going to ask you the question that I personally like asking at the end of tribal councils. If you had just one word to describe how people are going to react to the final vote read tonight, what is that one word you would use and why?
Yeah, I think surprised. Yeah, I think everybody's name has been said at some point or another. And so I think that especially because of the lovely little twist, which for the record, I do not think is light. You keep that in mind. I don't think that's light. That's crazy. I think that has made it essentially an option for anybody anywhere to potentially be walking out that door. So yeah, I think that there will be plenty of surprise come by the end of the night. More some by others, and hopefully I am on the less side of things, but time will tell. We'll see.
All right, Brandon brings up a good point, so I'm just going to ask a question to the crowd. Raise your hand if you've heard your name come out tonight with the tribe. Maybe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it looks like everyone but Julia, his hands is up. All right. And so then a second question I got, which will lead us right into our final questions. Raise your hand if you think that tonight is the night that your torch is going to be snuffed by me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A lot of non-confident hands and a lot of and Julia. All right. And last question, I'm gonna head it over to Grace. Grace, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was trying to get my mute off. Alrighty. If y'all were to compare this round to some aspects of Egyptian culture, what would it be and why? And make this a special one. It's the merge round.
I did a little bit of research beforehand because I was caught so off guard the first time you asked this question. I'm taking it to the 4 winds of the Coming Forth by Day book of Ancient Egypt, because I think the vote has blown every which way today, and I have no idea where the wind is ultimately going to take the result tonight.
This is giving me the house of the nervous because I don't know what's something gonna die.
I'm gonna say mummy because somebody gonna be dead tonight. I just hope there's no Return of the Revenge of the Mummy. Return of the Mummy.
All right, not all at once, y'all. All right. That being said, if anyone has any pre-vote advantages or has anything else they'd like to say, now would be the time to say it. All right, votes are not locked. Votes are ready though. You could go to your prod chat and bump them or change them or do whatever you like with them. But at the time, you are live with both the VIP and the VL. So if you want to make any shout outs, prod chat guests, any VL members, now be the time to do so. Again, you are submitting both a vote to eliminate and a vote to save. Please label. Please label. Please label. Thank you. Bye.
Well, I can just start the shout outs. Shout out to my prod chat guests. One exists now. Shout out to Daddy Jeff. Thank you for joining me. My pleasure. No shout outs to Mike Jones. He owes me for the last couple still. You know my Venmo. I will still go ahead and shout out Crispy. Why not? I'm feeling nice. Yeah. Shout out to the VL, VIPs, all of you lovely people, and prod. And I hope everyone's having a great day. Shout out to a great day.
Shout out to Jake. Can y'all hear me with these AirPods? Shout out Jake and shout out Rose. Oh, too far.
Shout out Timeless Mike Jones, who's now messaging in my prod chat, seeing that I supported his downfall. And shout out to my lovely project guest, Fred, who made me add him at Merge, and then Coach, who's been rocking it since the beginning.
I was going to shout out, also honor the memory of my friend who passed away yesterday. Somebody that I felt very close to in the org community and what I've been kind of dealing with off and on today. And to those of you that know what I've been dealing with, I appreciate you being a listening ear. It is not my best day. It is not my best 2 days. So thank you.
I'm gonna say shout out to Chick-fil-A for being there on my not best days. Their chicken and their frozen lemonades always come in clutch. I'd also like to shout out Matt McConaughey, because Matt McConaughey, and Garfield the cat. Why not? And shout out my phone falling over.
Shout out to my Nana and to Nora and to my friend Sarah. Miss you, sister.
Shout out to my podcasts, especially the very incontinent one who's currently trying to make me laugh in DMs.
Claire, I love your cutie little headband. It's adorable.
Thanks. I have these fuck ass bangs that I just cut like a month or two ago, and so I have to get them out of my face.
I finally did face framing for the first time like a week ago, and I'm like 24/7.
Very much that.
What was everyone's highs and lows from today? Don't all go at once.
High, I had really good ice cream. Low, I got a bad crick in my neck trying to sleep on the plane ride.
Hi, we recorded a good podcast episode earlier. Low, we're in it.
Hi, everyone. I have the votes. But first, if anyone has any hidden mini idols or advantages and they'd like to play them, now would be the time to do so. All right, votes are locked. When I read the final vote, the person will have just a couple of seconds to say their goodbyes and leave the Zoom if they're on the Zoom. First vote. Austin. Second vote. Karen. Third vote. Eric. That's one vote Austin, one vote Karen, one vote Eric. Fourth vote. Austin. Fifth vote. Karen. Sixth vote. Karen. Seventh vote. And the eighth person voted out of Distortion Survivor Trials of Raw and the first member of our jury, Karen. Karen, if you have any final words, now would be the time to say them.
Thank God. I was low-key hoping to get to be Queen of Ponderosa. Y'all are giving me anxiety. Please make it interesting. That's really my only request here. Also, Linz, I'm so sorry. I must have opened your morning message and forgot. So I thought you hadn't messaged me all day. I was going to say that after if I survive.
It's okay.
Yeah, just wanted to say that. Yeah, keep it interesting, play nice, send me good company. Bye.
Love you,
All right.
Karen.
Karen, it's been a blast. I'm so thankful. I can speak for everyone on Prod to have you back for this season. And for the first time officially, the tribe has spoken. You may leave the Zoom. And with that, congratulations on making it one round further. You made it to final 10. Next comp is a non-live challenge, which we will explain within the next 10-15 minutes. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful night. Have fun, be safe, don't die, and scram.